Hey friends, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing my Spin the Bottle TBR game for September. The first thing we do in this game is always go over how last month went, and that will determine how today's game goes. And I know what you're all thinking. Did she finally read it? Will we see The Way of Kings on another TBR? The answer is no, you will not, because I did read it. Round of applause, please and thank you. Look at all these gorgeous tabs. Gorgeous, gorgeous tabs. I've finally conquered The Way of Kings, and it's been a glorious time. This, in addition to Age of Myth and Rune of Kings, will be in next week's video for my 5-star fantasy showdown episode. Fantasy Showdown, and it's gonna be a good one. So I successfully completed The Way of Kings, and that is literally all that I need to tell you because I didn't read much else. In addition to The Way of Kings, I read 3 books, which is The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo, The Lost Story by Meg Schaefer, and The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz. August was really kind of a weird month. I was catching up from being away in Bali for the most of July. So I was catching up on those tasks and just like getting settled back in our home routine while also trying to do all of the things that I already had scheduled for August. So it was just a weird like resetting month, to be honest. So I'm excited for September and to play the game today. There is quite a huge possibility that we'll see a lot of repeats from last month, but I also have acquired more books that I want to put on the TBR. So I may have only read these 4 books last month, but since we successfully read The Way of Kings, I'm sort of refusing to draw a punishment because if you're new here, if I don't complete the previous month's Spin the Bottle TBR, I pull a punishment out of a little jar, and if I complete it, then I pull a reward out of the same little jar. But the jar will not make an appearance today because I've done it, and I'm not gonna put myself down when I'm riding this high. Let's do the first thing that we do for the next month's TBR, which is pull out of my greenhouse compendium jar. Every piece of paper in this jar is a book that I physically own that my patrons are able to choose for me. Okay. I always go through such a wide range of emotions whenever we pick from the jar because it's never anything that's on my immediate TBR, nothing that I immediately planned on picking up, but that is the actual point of the jar. So I pulled a recommendation from Kirsten, and it is The Berry Pickers by Amanda Peters. I love this cover with my entire heart. So The Berry Pickers is following a situation where a 4-year-old Micmac girl goes missing from the blueberry fields of Maine, sparking a tragic mystery that haunts the survivors, unravels a family, and remains unsolved for nearly 50 years. It takes place in Maine, and our main character is Norma. She's often troubled by recurring dreams and visions that seem more like memories than imagination. As she grows older, Norma slowly comes to realize there is something her parents aren't telling her, but unwilling to abandon her intuition, she will spend decades trying to uncover this family secret. And it's involved with the young girl that goes missing in one way or another, and that's what we're gonna find out. One of my best friends in real life actually listened to this on audio and she really liked it. This was a cover buy for me, and then I saw that it was set in Maine and had some indigenous representation, and I was just really excited. So this is on the TBR, unexpectedly. But that also means that we can move on into the game, so let's go see what else is gonna be on my TBR. Starting off strong. We got a +1 spin right off the bat, but then the prompt we got was continue a series from the previous game's TBR. Which is good. I actually plan on continuing kind of immediately. By no means am I promising that I'll finish this next month, but I know that I will want to start it next month. So, Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson, I will be choosing for this prompt. 1, because it's the only series that I read last month, so I have to continue the only series that was on my Spin the Bottle TBR for last month. And also, I'm just excited to continue. So this is going on the TBR. In order to fulfill the prompt, I just have to at least start it. I want to get a good chunk of the way into this book. Prompt number 1 is looking real chunky already, over 1,000 pages. Let's just do it again. Let's just do it all over again. But until then, let's go on to spin number 2. Spin number 2 is a really fun prompt. I believe it's from Bex. If you didn't know, all of these prompts are submitted to me from my patrons. So it was Cards Against Humanity chooses your read. So I'm basically gonna treat it like one of my tarot spaces. I have this Cards Against Humanity, I have the absurd box, which is always a fun time. I'm gonna choose out of the white cards because I feel like that makes more sense than to choose from the black ones, because these are more like answers instead of prompts, or prompts instead of questions. A very scary card. It kind of works for spooky season. But the card that we got that we have to choose a book from is The Man in the Basement. I feel like it makes sense to choose this one. I don't know for sure if there is a man in a basement in this book, but I feel like this book has the best chance of me choosing correctly. And it is The Unmothers by Leslie J. Anderson. I'm actually going to be a co-host on Elizabeth's book club, which is called the Midnight Society, and this is September's pick. I'm going to be joined with Elizabeth herself as well as Jan. I'll link both of them down below. And this one is a new thriller horror. It sounds absolutely wild. It is basically about our main character Marshall, who is still trying to put the pieces together after the death of her husband. To get back on her feet, her editor basically sends her to the small town of Rayford to investigate a ridiculous rumor that a horse has given birth to a healthy human baby boy. I don't like the implications of that. When she arrives, she finds an insular community that is kinder to horses they are famous for breeding than to their own people. But when two horribly mangled bodies are discovered in a field, one a horse and one a human, she realizes there might be a real story here. As she is pulled deeper into the town and its guarded people, her sense of reality is tipped on its head. Is she losing her grip? Or is the impossible story the key to a dark secret that has haunted the women of Rayford for generations? Why? Why the women? The atmospheric tale of female rage, bodily autonomy, and generational trauma hails the arrival of a masterful new storyteller. This book scares me. Like, I'm really concerned about it. And I'm assuming that there's going to be a creepy setting, there's probably going to be a house, and there might be some sort of like door that leads down to a basement that our main character isn't allowed to go into, because that's such a common thing in like mystery horror thrillers. So even if it's not, it's an educated guess. You know what I'm saying? Okay, The Unmothers. This live show for her book club is going to be in the late September. So go follow and come chat with us about it. Oh, I'm scared about it. I'm gonna be honest. But let's go on to spin number 3 and hopefully we get a good one. We got a mood read, which is very welcome after that one. I'm gonna put something light and fluffy on the TBR. It's also my buddy read for my book club this month, and it's going to be The Pairing by Casey McQuiston. This is basically about a bisexual couple. They're estranged exes now, and they both basically find themselves on this European tour. Tensions are high, and they actually end up posing a competition, a friendly wager, which is a hookup competition to prove to the other person that they are definitely over each other, and they're clearly not. I think it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be super messy, and I am just excited to read it. So The Pairing will be book number 3 on this Spin the Bottle TBR. And let's go on to spin number 4. Oh boy, here it goes. Putting things on the TBR that weren't originally my plan. The prompt was choose a book that is from a book haul 1 year or older. And I wanted to choose We Ride Upon Sticks by Quan Berry, but I'm pretty sure I got this for Christmas from one of my patrons last year. So it hasn't yet been a year since I've acquired it. So I can't choose this one in good faith. And so this is what we're doing. I've had this book on hold for the audiobook on Libby for months now, and I keep delaying it, like letting the next person go. It's time to stop. It's time to stop that business and just actually listen to it. It is going to be They Can't Kill Us Until They Kill Us by Hanif Abdurraqib. Oh, I just kicked you. I'm so sorry. These are essays that involve the music industry. Music is simply a vehicle for him to delve deeper as he movingly explores themes of race, friendship, and our shared quest for meaning. I've heard great things about this group of essays. I've heard great things about this author. It is time for me to stop putting it off and actually just read it. So I'm putting it on the TBR. Sydney, you need to read it. Here it is. Now let's go on to spin number 5. This is a great prompt for me because so many from last month I am going to be putting back on my TBR. All 3 of these, in fact. It is going to be We Ride Upon Sticks, The Man Who Died Twice, as well as The Echo of Old Books. All 3 of these are the next installment of the 5-Star Showdown, so here they are. Any of these I will accept as an answer for this prompt. You can also maybe just include all 3 of them, because in order to get that video out, I need to read all of them. And I have that video slotted for a couple weeks from now. We're gonna do it, and it's gonna be great. So take your pick or take all 3. All of them will be getting read. This is a chunky stack. Oh boy. Let's go on to spin number 6, because we got a +1 prompt at the beginning of the game if you don't remember. Good God. We got another +1, so we will be spinning one more time after this one. Hopefully just one more time. But the board did give me another mood read, so I can't necessarily be upset, even though I am. Oh boy. Okay, so I was going to choose one of my cute little small books as this mood read, Open Throat or The Employees. And like, I'm still actually like really want to read these, like big time. I still might read them this month, but I also actually need to read The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. It's a chunker of a like literary mystery thriller. It's less of a thriller and more of a mystery from what I hear, because this is my book club pick for last month in August, and that means that I read it at the beginning of September for our live show, you know, bada bing, bada boom. I'm also part of Literally Dead Book Club this month in September, which is the choice as well. So I need to read it and pay attention so that I know what I'm talking about. So I guess I'll put this one as the like official pick, even though it could be literally anything. I have like actual requirements to read this one though. So I guess I'll choose this. This stack is literally like here on my table. Yikes. Let's go into our next spin because we have to. Okay, spin number 7 was our last spin. It is a tarot space, which is always exciting, always welcome. I have my tarot cards here. This is the major arcana of this deck that I own, and if you've been here, you know how this goes. I just mix them up and I put good intentions into the cards. I want, please give me something that I can work with, something small, please. Maybe? Let's maybe this one? I don't know, I'm scared. I don't know what the prompt is, but it's so funny because I need this. I pulled this card because the tarot gods were telling me that I need to have strength. I'm gonna need strength this month. So let's see what number 11. Let's see what strength's prompt is. Oh, that's doable. Live, laugh, love. Okay, it's a book with a female protagonist. That I can do that. Okay, this is my problem. Like, yeah, I wanted and need to read all of those other books, but I also had all of these that I really also wanted to pick up. I don't know if The Employees has a female protagonist. I'm assuming that there are females on this sci-fi voyage, but I don't know for sure. Open Throat is a queer, hungry mountain lion, and I think I'm gonna try to read this regardless of whether I choose it or not for a prompt. I then also have The Pachinko Parlor, which I wanna read, and this does have a female protagonist, so I could choose this one. But then listen, I just got The Last Witch in Edinburgh by Marielle Thompson, and I'm obsessed with how this sounds. Definitely has a female protagonist because it's a witchy novel, and look at the cover, stunning. But then also, I have This Ravenous Fate by my girl Hayley Dennings, and I started this on the plane during our like round the world extravaganza, and I just haven't continued it yet because that trip was a lot for my body. I'm loving it though. There are 2 female protagonists and I have it on my Kindle. I have this ARC copy. I'm the worst with ARCs. I really do my best. I mean well. But I do want to read this. I'll choose either This Ravenous Fate or The Pachinko Parlor. I'll choose This Ravenous Fate as my like official pick, but then I will also, you know, keep this in the back of my mind in case I need to switch out a prompt. But I'm gonna choose This Ravenous Fate. I feel right and I feel good and correct for this choice. It sounds so good right now. It's sapphic black vampires in Harlem in the 1900s. I've heard nothing but great things, and what I've read so far, I really love. So holy shit, that's a lot of books, friends. Ready? Ready to see? Oof. Here is my September TBR. Totally reasonable, absolutely doable. Here it is. I do, again, keep in mind these cute little ones. Maybe I'll try to do some sort of readathon this month. I plan on doing like a challenge vlog, among other things, to try to increase my productivity this month because August was a bit rough. So I'm excited about these books. I'm taking this strength card. I'm gonna like prop it up against my stack and so that I can see it all month. because I'm gonna need it. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me for a little bit. Down below, give me the trophy. Give me the trophy emoji or a medal, anything to prove that you're proud of me for reading The Way of Kings and even moving on into Words of Radiance. Like, wow, hot dog, look at me go. And also, while you're down there, please do subscribe and like the video. I always appreciate your support. And of course, be kind to one another and happy reading. Bye.